front office sports. That kind of set the tone for the conversation because we were hoping to hear otherwise. Agumake said the 3-hour meeting was instead spent both sides explaining the thinking behind their recent proposals. One of the main priorities, according to one source familiar with the negotiation, was to allow players and owners to connect and...
That's the sound of a high-stakes negotiation unraveling right before our eyes. The WNBA Players Union just spent 3 tense hours in a high-profile meeting with league owners in New York City. And get this, the owners came without a single counteroffer. They walked in, looked the union rep straight in the eye, and basically said, "We're not bringing anything new to the table." It was a total shutdown. The reactions from the union representatives speak volumes about how badly things are headed. A critical deadline is looming.
Unlikable individuals in the league we can all put in one room that actually can't stand the most popular talent they have in the entire league. I've said this. They've got the worst people representing them in this. It needs to be Caitlin Clark, and we all know it, right? Now, I think this is interesting.
Folks, less than 100 days remain before the season begins. And the divide isn't just about money. It's deeper than that. Both sides are now questioning whether the other is even negotiating in good faith, which is an enormous red flag this late in the process. Now, consider exactly who the players brought to represent them at this crucial moment. Heavyweights like Breanna Stewart, Nneka Ogwumike, Brianna Turner, and Alyssa Clark. But here's the kicker that's raising eyebrows everywhere.
Stacey Abrams. This is the most unlikable league ever. AFL-CIO President Liz Schuler were also on the call and ended with support of the WNBA PA. So Stacey Abrams was in on the call for the players. Do you guys want to grow your sport at all? It's like, can we get the most extreme individuals, most radical individuals in existence involved? You might as well just put Bad Bunny in there. Was Bad Bunny in on the call? Question mark.
The two biggest stars expected in person, Kelsey Plum and Nisa Collier, didn't even set foot in the room. They're highlighting the $1.3 million figure to empower the players, but that amount climbs to nearly $2 million by the deal's end. Instead of attending what might be the most pivotal meeting in league history, they dialed in via Zoom. This was supposed to be the make-or-break moment for the entire negotiation. Yet,
based on recent reports, the league has proposed a significantly higher salary structure with a maximum compensation potentially approaching $1.3 million to nearly $2 million over the life of the deal. They're making a point to only say $1.3 million because they're trying to empower the players. Well, it's just $1.3 million. Well, it's nearly $2 million by the end of the deal.
But the star players couldn't be bothered to show up physically. The optics alone are disastrous for the union, and it gets worse when you look at the call's guest list. Stacey Abrams was brought in specifically to back the union's position. Keep in mind, she's a politician with no background in sports labor negotiations, primarily known for her progressive activism. Then there was AFL-CIO President Liz Schuler, who joined to show solidarity. Think about the message this sends to league owners already offering to quadruple salaries. Instead of sports economists
to attend in person. By the way, Kathy Engelbert was involved, as well as some others, and I already named some of these. All right, so earlier in the day, it was reported that there was strong debate occurring among members of the WNBPA 7-team executive. All right, talking about one group believes the time is now to stand firm in the pursuit of the revamped revenue model. The other is less inclined to pursue a strike.
Salary cap experts or business analysts, the union brought high-profile political figures to a negotiation that is supposed to be a hard-nosed business discussion. The disconnect is staggering. On one side, owners table a concrete, life-changing offer. with maximum salaries starting at $1.3 million in year one and rising to nearly $2 million by the deal's end, and nearly 8 to 9-fold increase from current maximums. On the other, the union demands a complete overhaul of the revenue-sharing model and brings in politicians to argue their case. It's like two entirely different languages are being spoken in that room.
To the meeting, and you all can't get your PA team to show up on time. Unprofessional. Dumbest group of women to ever lead a negotiation, honestly. Whomever is advising or filing their head with images of grandeur should be fired. There's a winning and life-changing money on the table, and these dumbasses want to walk away from the table. Pure greed. Whoa! Smoking. Please tell me the WNBA PA didn't go there just to listen to offers. I'm sure that.
Here's what major outlets like ESPN and Front Office Sports keep leaving out, and it drives me crazy. They emphasize the $1.3 million maximum salary, making it seem modest compared to NBA Supermax contracts. But that's only the starting point. By the final year of the proposed CBA, max salaries would approach a staggering $2 million per player. That's the number that truly matters. And these media outlets are deliberately burying it, making the union's current demands appear unreasonable to the average fan.
Just send Caitlin and Asia to the NBA and call it a day. I mean, it's that's just disrespectful. I think the owners have pretty much made it clear. This is our offer. Take it or leave it. It's on the table. And I do believe that outside of the players and unrivaled, I think the rest of the players would take this deal that's on the table right now.
Now, predictably, reports are emerging of serious fractures within the players' union itself. Multiple sources indicate deep divisions among the 17-member executive committee. One faction is holding firm on ideological revenue-sharing demands, prepared to strike if needed. Another is eyeing the quadrupled salaries and thinking, are we crazy? Maybe we should take the win and just play basketball. Nneka Ogwumike and Alyssa Clark went into immediate damage control, publicly denying any division exists. Ogwumike even stated, I don't think there's any fracturing. But the curious thing is that such a denial itself raises questions about internal unity.
We're involved in this meeting as well. Connecticut's Sun President Jennifer Rosati, good Lord, she's a Caitlin Clark hater. Matt Amishi and New York Liberty owner Clara Wu Tasai and Sue Bird. Good Lord. I mean, it's...
If you want, I can also make a version that's punchier, viral-ready, with stronger hooks and shorter, more dramatic sentences, perfect for YouTube or social media coverage. The word fracturing didn't come from a reporter. It came straight from a video thumbnail of an independent commentator covering the story online. The fact that union leadership is responding to language from a YouTube video shows just how much they're worried about public perception and online chatter. The owner's strategy is becoming crystal clear. They made their best and final offer, put the money on the table, and are refusing to budge. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert and owners like Jennifer Rosati from Connecticut and Clara Wasai from New York attended the meeting ready to answer questions and explain their position, but they didn't bring a counteroffer because, in their view, there was nothing left to counter.
Because they're all in on these players. Getting paid. They're getting paid. Maybe not. Monday's pivotal meeting between the WNBA players and owners at league offices in New York lasted roughly 3 hours before attendees slowly started trickling out. By the way, there's less than 100 days till the start of the season. Quote, they volunteered that they did not have a proposal.
The generous proposal was already there. It's a classic take it or leave it situation. a power move grounded in financial reality. The WNBA has been operating at a loss for years, and the owners know the numbers are in their favor. The league has always relied on NBA support and has never truly turned a profit on its own. Yet, despite this, the owners are offering to dramatically increase player salaries, banking largely on future growth driven by one singular force: Caitlin Clark. And she's not even part of these negotiations. Here's the massive elephant in the room nobody wants to acknowledge. The Players' Union is being represented by figures who have openly criticized the Caitlin Clark phenomenon. Breanna Stewart has voiced displeasure over the attention Clark receives. Nneka Ogwumike has said league growth shouldn't be tied to one player, and Connecticut Sun president Jennifer Rosati has publicly downplayed Clark's impact. These are the very people negotiating for a league whose most successful season ever was fueled almost entirely by rookie viewership. The disconnect between who is actually creating the league's value and who is demanding compensation couldn't be clearer. Clark alone drew 3.2 million viewers to the games she played, essentially enabling the league to offer these massive salary increases. Yet she isn't even part of the conversation. Instead, retired players like Subbard are providing commentary, adding to the circus-like atmosphere. Time is running out. Less than 100 days remain until the season, and training camps, free agency, and roster finalizations cannot proceed without a CBA in place. Right now, the sides aren't even negotiating, they're just repeating their positions. Owners have made it clear. They are moving. They believe the offer is fair given the league's finances and are counting on rank-and-file players, those without massive endorsement deals, to pressure union leadership into accepting it. Most WNBA players live paycheck to paycheck and cannot afford to miss a single game, unlike stars such as Stewart and Ogwumike. Fan reaction has been overwhelmingly negative toward the players. Social media is filled with comments calling union leadership unprofessional, greedy, and out of touch. People are shocked that the union is rejecting life-changing money, quadruple current salaries. Some comments are blunt. Who in their right mind would downvote quadrupling their salary to $1.3 million? Others are harsher. The WNBA is losing millions every year, and they want more money? Absolute idiots. Just shut it down. While extreme, these reactions highlight a fundamental disconnect. Fans see the union failing to understand basic business realities. You cannot demand NBA-level revenue sharing without generating NBA-level revenue. The math simply doesn't work. It gets worse. The union is demanding a revenue-sharing model similar to the NBA's, where players receive roughly 50% of basketball-related income. But the WNBA has never been profitable and has relied on NBA subsidies since its founding in 1996. Owners aren't being greedy. They literally cannot share revenue that doesn't exist. The current proposal already represents a huge financial commitment, raising the salary cap, increasing maximum salaries from around $240,000 to nearly $2 million, improving travel conditions with charter flights, boosting per diem allowances, and expanding benefits, all while the league continues to operate at a loss. And the players' response? Bring political activists to the table and threaten strikes. The reality is stark. The league's recent growth is almost entirely due to Caitlin Clark, whose games drew record-breaking viewership, drove jersey sales, and increased attendance, even at away games. She's a rookie making roughly $76,000 while generating tens of millions for the league. If anyone has a legitimate compensation grievance, it's her. Yet she's not demanding a strike or lobbying with activists. She's simply playing and letting her performance speak. That is the difference between a business mindset and an activist mindset. The 3-hour meeting accomplished almost nothing. According to Nneka Ogwumike, the owners stated at the start that they had no new proposal, setting the tone. Both sides spent 3 hours explaining past proposals, effectively talking past each other. Around 40 players observed remotely, witnessing the union's leadership fail to make progress while owners remained firm. Many of those 40 players are likely thinking, just take the deal, so we can play basketball. The pressure must have been suffocating. The union insists there's no division, but clearly factions exist. One willing to strike over abstract revenue-sharing principles, another fearing missed paychecks. With less than 100 days to the season, The owner's final offer is on the table, and the union demands changes that won't be accepted. Negotiations have stalled. The smart money predicts the deal will eventually pass because most players cannot afford a work stoppage. Stars may have overseas contracts, but most rely on this season to pay mortgages. Yet the risk remains. If union leadership doubles down on principle over pragmatism, a strike could occur, devastating the league. Caitlin Clark's momentum would be lost, casual fans and sponsors would disappear, and the progress from last season would vanish. The owners know this, which is why they're playing hardball. They can absorb losses. Players cannot. This entire crisis is avoidable. The owner's offer is generous considering league finances. Accept it, play basketball, grow the league, and negotiate more in the next CBA when profitability is real. Instead, the union is led by figures prioritizing ideology over practical business sense, demanding NBA-style revenue sharing without the financial foundation. Politicians and activists have been brought in as if this is a social justice issue, not a business negotiation. The owner's responsibility is to run a business, not fulfill ideological goals. They are offering what the league can afford: higher salaries, better conditions, and improved benefits. In the real world, that's a huge win for labor, but activists see accepting anything less than parity with men's leagues as surrender. Fans see the absurdity. Life-changing money is being offered, and the union acts insulted. Star players dial in via Zoom instead of attending in person, and political activists dominate discussions. Public patience is running out. If the union forces a work stoppage, they will lose the PR battle. Fans will side with owners, sponsors will retreat, and the league's momentum will evaporate. The next weeks are critical. The union must accept something close to the current offer or risk a work stoppage that could set the league back decades. The logical move is clear. Take the deal, play basketball, grow the league, and negotiate for more when there's leverage. But with union leadership prioritizing ideology and political optics, the smart choice is not guaranteed. If the union rejects an offer that would make all players wealthier, the league that just had its best season could collapse before Caitlin Clark even plays her second year. So, what's the call? Take the guaranteed deal and play, or hold out for revenue sharing at the risk of losing the season. Those are the only two options, and the clock is running out. Share your thoughts in the comments. What happens next?